This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. I am delighted to be joined again, finally, by Souleymane Cissokho. It's the first time I've spoken to you since June, end of May, before the last Anthony Joshua fight. How are you, Souleymane? Nice to see you.
Yes, me too. Thanks. I'm good. Thank you. Good to be here, and I'm happy to be here.
Now, I was very, very excited that you were coming over, and I was very excited to see you because I thought you were fighting on the card until very recently, but you're no longer on the card. Why don't you tell people what the reason is behind you not being on the card, unfortunately?
Yes, because I have a sagittal band injury on my knuckle, and that's why the doctor and my team we say it's better to be careful, and we canceled the fight, but. It is what it is. Maybe next time I will fight in this car.
When did you find out about? Well, no. When did you find out? But when did you have the injury?
Since my last fight in September 28th. So in my training camp, I feel my hand, and I go back in France for know what I have exactly. And yes, they told me I have a sagittal band injury. It's a boxer injury. Every boxer had. This injury, so that's why we take the choice to be careful and we cancel the fight.
Now, we were looking forward to you stepping up. It was going to be one of your well, I think fair to say your biggest test as a professional. Is it disappointing for you to not be able to showcase your skills on such a big card?
Yes, it's disappointing for me because I have a great training camp. I had a great training camp. I trained with Jhonny Williams. I sparred with him a couple of times. It's number one in my weight class. So I'm disappointed, but it is what it is. I accept that, and I think in 2020 it will be a big year for me.
Now, I spoke to Virgil Hunter at the start of November in Las Vegas around Canelo Kovalev. I won't tell you what he said about you, but why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Virgil and how you feel you're progressing under him?
I have a great relationship with Virgil. For me, it's the best coach in the world. He have the word for show you something. I learn a lot of with him. Every training camp, I learn a lot of things, and he can explain very well, and he show you very well also, and. I grew up with him, I grew up, I feel better, I feel stronger, I feel, my boxing IQ is getting better also. So for me, it's a great man, great coach, and he's like a father for me.
How are you settling in? I know that you've worked in the Bay Area for a while now. Is it starting to feel like maybe not a second home, but maybe a third home? I know you travelled around when you were an amateur as well.
Yes, now Bay Area is my second home. I spend more time in the Bay Area than in my home in France. So now I'm like 80% or 70% on the year in the Bay Area. So yes, my second home.
I can tell you're enjoying it because even though your English was very good when I spoke to you in May, it seems like your English is developing even more now.
Yes, my English is getting better, and I'm happy about that. And I think in a couple of months it will be better for sure.
Now, you mentioned earlier on that you've been sparring with Jhonny Williams, J-Rock, who's obviously the unified champion at super welterweight. How important is it for you to get that experience so early, still in your professional career?
It's amazing, because Jhonny Williams is the number one in my weight class, and I learn a lot with him. It's a good guy, he's a great guy, and we push each other, and yes, it's a good experience for me. I learn a lot with him, and I know I'm right there, He told me you're right there. You have to still working, and you will be there in couple fights.
You obviously had a very extensive amateur career. You achieved a lot as an amateur. How much do you feel that you still got to learn about the professional game? Because obviously the transition sometimes for some people is very easy. Sometimes for people can take a little bit longer. How do you feel it is for you?
No, I think I have a great transition, amateur to pro. Work with Virg. Virg helped me to have this transition fast. My transition is getting faster because Virg know the transition like when he did with the 100 world, Olympic gold medalist and after world champion in the world. So world champion. And yes, now I think I'm a real professional fighter. I think I'm a real professional fighter, and I want to show you here, but it is what it is, and maybe next time.
Was it important for you, or were you looking forward to boxing not only on the Anthony Joshua Andy Ruiz rematch undercard, but also boxing here in Saudi Arabia? I know you're a Muslim man, and would that have been important for you? Was that something that you were looking forward to?
Yes, because now, the pace of boxing changed around the world, and it's great for me to box here, Also, yes, I'm Muslim, and I will be proud to box here, because I think here people don't know very well about boxing, and to show my skills, to show everything here, it will be great for me, yeah.
Is this your first time in Saudi Arabia?
No, it's my second time in Saudi Arabia. I've been there like 2 years ago for Umrah, for Muslim pilgrimage, and yes, it's my second time.
What was your thoughts when the fight came to Saudi Arabia? Because a lot of people in the UK who maybe hadn't been to Saudi Arabia or maybe didn't know a lot about Saudi Arabia, they were a little bit, certainly very surprised. What were your thoughts on the fight coming here?
Yes, also in US, they're surprised, and some people are afraid also, because they think, it's a bad country and everything. Me, I'm not surprised, they want to open in the world, and I think it's good, to promote sport and everything. It's not only boxing, but tennis, it's a concert and everything. I think it's good, and it's good for everybody. And I think this country can show a lot of good thing in the world. So that's why to promote this kind of fight and everything is good for everybody.
We mentioned the fact that you're a Muslim and you've come here to Mecca before. What's it like I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a religious man, but as a religious man and as a Muslim yourself, what's it like coming to a place like Saudi Arabia? What does that do for you spiritually, and what does that do for your faith?
Yes, in my spiritually, I feel good, because it's a Muslim country, and people, I recognize people, like when you talk, everybody, salam alaikum, alaikum salam, hospitalities, and it's honor for me to be here, because for every Muslim, the goal is to come here to do the pilgrimage, for everybody, Mecca, go to Mecca, Medina. So it's very important to a lot of Muslims to be here, and it's a dream for a lot of Muslims also to be here. So I'm very happy to be here, and for me, yes, I'm happy to be here.
Will you be going to Mecca while you're here?
Yes, I think I will go Friday. I think I will go Friday for 1 day, doing my Umrah, and come back here for the fight.
Let's talk about the fight. As I mentioned, the last time I spoke to you was before the first fight. Massive shock in New York. Now we head into the rematch. It's a very different feeling. Before the first fight, everybody thought it was going to be a relatively straightforward win for Anthony Joshua. This one, I don't think anybody really knows. Why don't you talk to me about this fight compared to the first fight?
Yes, I think right now Anthony Joshua is in the right mindset, He's focused, and he wants his title, He lost his title in New York, It was a controversial fight. Everybody was, wow, amazing, And now Anthony Joshua wants his title. He's ready 100%. He look hungry, he look like focused, and I think he have a better strength conditioning. Now his speed, everything. He lost a lot of weight also. And
After the interview,
what's up?
Yeah,
Good to see
very
you.
good, very
You
good.
good?
Nice to see
Yeah.
you.
And yes, I think Anthony Joshua is ready 100% for this fight. Andrew Ruiz also, he say he don't want to lose his title. And he worked a lot. He worked hard for this title, so he don't want to lose his title. And I think it will be a great fight. But for me, Anthony Joshua will win the fight.
What was it like for you watching the first fight? I remember Anthony's post-fight interview, and he said that he spoke about yourself, he spoke about Lawrence Coley and Joshua Buatsi, and the fact that you were a very close team, you were all young men, and you were all unbeaten, but he was the first person to take a loss. What was that like for you to see him? Because I know he takes a keen interest in your career, and obviously is part of your management team.
Yes, it was very hard for even for me, because for everybody, Anthony Joshua is unbeatable, it's a great champ. Even in boxing and outside boxing, it's a great guy. And for me and for everybody, we know in boxing we can lose. The big champion, all of the champions lost fights, so it's a part of the sport, But if push for me, it's like, oh, Souleymane, you have to be careful. You have to work hard every time. You have to stay focused every time, and that's it, you know. But we know in boxing we can lose, but we have to train hard and to win every fight.
So did it kind of tell you that, okay, Anthony Joshua, he lost, I need to make sure that I do everything right and prepare for my fight, so hopefully that doesn't happen to me?
Yes, and you know, we learn a lot of things about his loss. Like you know, sometimes when you fight in other country, you know, you can be, we don't know. Sometimes you can have some kind of stress or something like that. So you have to prepare mentally, you know, like to prepare your mental about everything. And yes, like I questionize myself, like, Souleymane, you have to do everything right for all of your fights. You have to do everything right, and yes, and that's it.
What do you think's the most important thing for Anthony going into this fight? You spoke about his strength and conditioning, and I think everybody can see the fact that he's lost weight and he looks a lot more lean and agile. Do you think it's more a physical change he needs to do, or a mental change, or maybe both?
I think both. You know, physical change. We can see he lost weight. Mental change. You know, now I think it's his right mindset. You know, mental change because he lost one time. You know, by knockout. By knockout. And now Anthony Joshua. You know, he have to forget everything. You know, like from the last fight, and he have to come forward and beat this guy. You know, you have to beat this guy. You have to stay focused, strong, and have big mentality, big heart. You know, for one style.
Some people are of the opinion that Anthony needs to box on the outside and keep the distance. Other people say he should be aggressive. What do you think he should do in the fight?
I think you have to mix. I think you have to mix to go outside. You know, work a lot of with his jab, with his left hand. Work with his left hand. Keep the distance, and sometimes when he's close, he have to be careful, you know, like, because last time he corner punched him, so now he have to be careful about his defense when he's close to Ruiz. But I think he worked good with Robert McCracken, with all of his team, and he's ready. You know, like you say, he spent like 6 months in the gym after his loss, so he know what he have to do, and I think he's ready 100% for this fight.
What's your prediction for the fight? I'm sure you're going to say Anthony Joshua is going to win. Do you think he's going to have to stop Andy Ruiz, or do you think you take it by decision? What's your opinion?
It's better to stop him. For me, it's better to stop him. Like in the 7th round, it's better to stop him. But if he's going decision, he will go in the decision. So if he's going in decision, it is what it is. But I think you have to stop him.
Lawrence Coley, somebody else who's under the same management team as you, shout out to Team 258 management. He's going to be boxing for a world title. It's just been announced today from the WBO convention in Tokyo that he's going to be, well, providing the deal gets done, I don't see any reason why it won't, he's going to be boxing Krzysztof Glowacki for a world title. Lawrence has had not many fights at all. I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry, Lawrence. What's that like for you, seeing somebody in your stable challenging for a world title after so few fights? Continually, I mean, Lawrence is collecting a lot of belts in a very short space of time. Does that inspire you?
It's a motivation for me, you know. I'm very happy for him because he worked very hard, and it's motivation for me. For me, it's like, Souleymane, you have to work hard, you too, for at the end of 2020 or, early in 2021 to get a title also. So I'm very happy for him, and for me, he will win this title with the Poland. Polish guy, yes.
Okay, well, Souleymane Cissokho, it's nice to see you. It's unfortunate I'm not going to be seeing you in the ring, but hopefully we'll get you back in the ring sometime early next year. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Your English is getting better than mine. I look forward to seeing you maybe after the fight.
For sure, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and see you soon. For sure.
Thanks, Salute.